But yeah, I was dragged into this work, and it definitely was not a blame-free atmosphere at that time. I'm going to be perfectly honest, and because my daughter had come home the first week of school, it wasn't even a whole week. By the third day, my husband and I, my late husband and I, were saying, "Where's her book? Where's her homework? Where's the syllabus? Where's this? Where's that?" The fourth day, I had had enough, blew my top, didn't go to the principal, jumped all the channels and went right to the superintendent and pinned a note to her saying, "What kind of mess is this? You know, I expect my child to go to college, I expect her to be exposed to high quality education. How can that be without books? She has no books. She's been in that school 4 days. Now, this is the fifth day with no books. Well, that was 4 days, Thursday, because Friday she came home with every book in all her classes. So we're like, yay, this is wonderful. I said, Bob, this is wonderful. We'll go to New York. We'll take the family, go eat. We love to eat in New York. We'll go to New York as a celebration, until she dropped her head. I said, what did you do? I said, what do you mean? She said, I'm the only one that got books in the school. I'm like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. This is not going to work. So Monday, I had to take a personal day and visit the school. And that's how I got involved. It was not the best way for parental engagement, because there was some anger, there was mistrust, all the bad things that you could think. That's not the best way to, start a homeschool relationship. But that's how I got started. And after a couple of parents talking to other parents, our first PTA was a very powerful one, because a lot of parents felt the same way. And I was not the president then. I went to a meeting. The then president said, I'm quitting. And next thing you know, I'm drafted and voted in as the PTA chair. I'm like, what? How does this happen? And the irony is, in talking about blameless solutions and looking at people humanistically, the irony is I went to New York a couple of weekends after that, sat on the train, and there was only one seat available. And I sat down, I just said, is this seat available? Without looking at the face of the person. Well, the person was the superintendent, Beverly Hall.
Oh, you're kidding.
I was floored. And she said, hi, how are you? I said, how are you? And she, just telling me that she's a new grandmother. So we began to talk as women. And from there, our relationship changed. So she understood what I was saying. And I appreciated the predicament she was in. So, it's amazing that I didn't agree with a lot she was doing. I didn't certainly agree with how she's imposed on us, but then I could respect what she had to do. And then, recognize her humanity, because she was celebrating being a grandmother, which I now am. So I know that celebration. And so therefore, it is, you do have to grow into the blame-free, solution-driven approach. But it probably started there. It probably started on that train meeting with my adversary. I was the same way. I didn't know at first either. It was a learning process for me too. I'm looking at the money spent and why my kid don't have a book. Or why is there one teacher has one set of books and you can't have books to go home? Well, until I too had to come into, I had to slow down enough to listen, first of all, to actively listen. And then I had to learn and then speak to other people, right? And even people I didn't share the same philosophy with. And then this is how all that civic trustee training comes into play even today when there's disagreements. So you first have to have an understanding of the problem and be willing to educate yourself, reorient your outlook so you can get the outcome you deserve, you're working towards. But that's a training process, Joanne. That is a training process. And that's why every child starting in kindergarten should have civics introduced in the class, because it helps with peer relationships, how to communicate, how to actively listen, okay, how to respect different cultures. It's all ingrained in there. In my mind, I had to get a lot of people, what's this? What does this mean? What does that mean? So I started going to all the budget meetings that the district gave and eventually got a relationship with the VA, and she's a wonderful business administrator. She is credentialed. I think she's a nationally credentialed, only Afro-American nationally credentialed business administrator, and that's our own Valerie Wilson. But she's willing to do parent trainings, and that's wonderful that she's willing to put herself out and say, okay, let me explain this to you, the word deficit and this and that. And that's rare, but that's because, again, you can't say, okay, why aren't you giving the money? You have to have that blameless type of attitude and be willing to learn and listen. And then you can ask a question if you disagree. So that's civic training as well.